Hello there, it's Trish from Pinky's World. I was having a wee look back at some of my videos from a good few. This one was actually from 5 years back. I made a wee button close slider for a Kit Kat. But I wanted to go a wee bit step bigger this time, and I came up with this one. I used a die from a different set. It's this one here. I used this. I don't like it at all, so you're not going to need it. I'm going to go back to my original one where I used this punch. So if you have a smaller rectangle or a punch, then use that if you're going to make it. But I think it's just it shows too much. Like, it's such a big gap when you close your slider up. You're left with this big hole. There's no way of adding like a piece of acetate or something to it. I will use this box, but I'm going to put the contents in a wee bag maybe, and that'll keep it all, because otherwise you're going to lose it. Just don't like it. Don't know what possessed me to choose that die, but no, it's not good. But I like the size of the box. It gives you much more scope, and you can use your scraps to do the back. I only had 3 sheets of this one, and the one I'm going to use now is this nice green one. I only have 3 sheets, and you need the full 3 sheets with just, like, you'll have a few scraps left. So I used my scraps and cut them up. So I'll do the same for the brown one. Lines of each design. Who doesn't love gingham at this time of the year? So that's what I'm going to do. But I'll tell you all those measurements soon. So what you need to start you off is, I'm going just with the white card because it's lovely and fresh for this time of the year. And this will be for St. Patrick's Day for my grandchildren. So what you want is a piece, and get my measurements sorted out here. Piece of white card. It's full A4 length, which is 11 6/8, and it's 4 inches wide. And for your inner box, you need a piece that measures 5 6/8, or 5 3/4 by 5 6/8, or 5 3/4. Does that make sense? I'm trying to tell you both measurements here. They're all inches, so you should be all right. So get your biggest sheet at the minute, and we're going to do a quick bit of scoring. I will link the other one that I did for the Kit Kats years ago. It was a lovely wee one, a butterfly and all on it. So you might like to go for a smaller size than this one. So what am I looking here? Oh, I score. So put your 11 3/4 inches along here, and then just score it at 4, 5, 9, and 10. And get your other piece for your inner box, and you want to score it an inch the whole way around. So an inch on all 4 sides. And it was 5 3/4 or 5 6/8. So that's your scoring done. Now, we'll do the inner box first and get it out of the way. So do your scores and your creases. And you could put a lid on this if you fancy it, but it's a bit over the top really, isn't it, for all it's going to be used for. So when you've done that, just cut into all 4 lines, working your way around clockwise. So cut up slightly there, just sort of in the center of that bumpy bit, and then you can cut a wee whack out of there, just like a triangular bit, and just keep turning. Do it here, and do it here, and I'll come straight back to you. So I cut out a piece of the matching paper, and it measures 3 5/8 by 3 5/8. Put it in there now, and then get your flaps folded in the ways and add your glue. I'm using Tomboy if there's any left in this. So just add glue onto each of those flaps. This is a very basic wee box bottom, just you've made loads of them. So just square them all off so you have a nice neat corner, nothing hanging over your edge. So it's nice and square, and just pop them all up like that. sure your edges go right down. Sometimes you're inclined to have them like this accidentally. Just make sure you push them right down to the bottom. You've cut that wee bit off to give you that wee bit of leeway. Keep it nice and neat. So that's it. I'm just going to give them a wee quick press. Make sure it's all taken. And that's your box made. So we can put that to one side and work on this bit here. So again, we'll start with our creases. Just burnish them all. Again, making sure it's all lined up nicely. Gives you a good wee size of a box. You could fit like 3 St. Patrick's Day socks or something for, I might do that for my wee granddaughter. She's not eating sweets. So that would suit her. So that gives you your nice box shape. We want to put our papers on first. So we'll decide now. This is going to be the bottom of the box. I have cut lots of papers here. So these two need to be 3 6/8 by 3 6/8, and we're going to vary the design. So like if you put the smaller check, whatever paper you're using, if it's double-sided, you know, flip one side over, and we're going to put the bigger check here. So 2 of those, that's one on the front and one on the inside. On the inside, let me check what I did here. Yeah, I swapped them. Oh no, I kept them the same, so I'm going to keep them the same. So it'll vary from, your box will be sitting in here. So you want a different check here, obviously, or a different pattern, whatever you're using. So I'm going to stick those in place now. Don't stick your box in place, whatever you do. We're going to back and front and back, inside and outside on your 2 pieces. Then we're going to put the smaller piece up here. That will cut 2 of these. So one will be this side gingham, and swap it over for the opposite side, if that's what you're doing. And I have also cut 4 pieces of the same width, which is, where am I? 5 and 6, no, 3 6/8, right? So you're 3 6/8, but they're only 6/8 wide, and they will fit in here. Again, alternating your design to cheer it up a bit. So if you're the gingham there, swap it over, vice versa, the whole way down. They'll go this side and this side, so you're decorating the outer edge as well. So I'll come back as soon as I've done, and then you'll see more what I'm talking about. Oops, I've knocked my video helter-skelter. So this is, sorry, I'm shifting you over a bit. This is the finished box with the papers decorated on it, right? So I have alternated, as you can see. I've added my scraps to the back. With this part done, this part. This one doesn't need done because your wee box will be sitting in here. So still, don't put that in yet. We're ready to do our closure and decorate the front. So we need a wee closure first. So get your 1.5 inch punch and do a white circle. And then you can get a scallop punch or another circle punch that's slightly smaller. And I'm going to go with this colour, this check on it. And this will sit on this. And then I've stamped out a shamrock, as I'm doing these for St. Patrick's Day, and that's the Lucky Clover. It's an old one, but you go ahead and do what you have. I'm going to add some dimensionals to this one, just wee small ones. I want that sitting in the center of that. And that has been stamped in garden green, and then that's going to sit here. You actually need 2 of these, not one. You're going to need 2. 2 half-inch ones. I'm not going to get any more than that, because obviously you need one for the back of it as well. So one to decorate. I'm going to put a bigger dimensional on this to hold it. I want it raised up. Just put 2 half ones. Because it's only paper, I want to support it so it doesn't collapse on me. And then we're just going to stick that on top of that. Try and get it in the center. So we're going to stick these two together eventually, but we need to get our wee parts sorted. I also want to stamp at the bottom here Happy St. Patrick's Day, so we'll do that now when it's nice and flat. I'm not raising it up or anything, I'm just putting it in my ink pad. Is kind of drying up on it, like all of them. All those Stampin' Up! Ink pads are just drying up. Shit, they're not that old, you know. Some of them aren't anyway. So I want this along the bottom. Got that right, having this closure. So I just want along the bottom here, so I'm hoping I get it kind of straight. My head could be bopping in front of you here. I'll probably not get it straight, so I'm not going to worry. Whoops! Not too bad, cheers now. Right, so we are going to have our closure sort of sitting about here. I'm going to slide this in so that it goes right to the end, and that keeps me right for each punch. I'm going to have to punch it twice. So it will leave this sort of off-sided bit, which I don't mind, because I'm going to do a wee flow of these shamrocks down here whenever I see the hole. So we'll close this up in case there's any accidents. Right, so get your punch if you're going to use a punch. We're going to slide it in, whoops, and I want to go down a wee bit, not too far, but a wee bit, maybe 3 of those checks. Make sure it's lined up straight and then give it a good punch. Now we need to get the top one lined up, and this is where if you fold it in backwards, you should be able to set, I hope I'm doing this right, if I've got it right in my head, set this one in. I'm going to put a wee tiny bit of glue to the top just to hold it from it. Fold that over the way it would be folded. Set this one, that I punched this out in a piece of plain paper, slide it in there so that it sits in there perfectly, and use that wee bit of stickiness that you to keep it there. So when I go to punch this, I know just to punch to there, that we have piece. So I'm going to slide it in here and hope I don't knock it off. And again, just hold it nice and straight and punch, and that should give you a lined up closure. Yep, perfect. Very good. Pleased with that. So now we need to add this, and we need to put yeah, these ones work out perfectly. If you have a whole one of these dimensionals from Stampin' Up, if not, cut yourself one of these, maybe 2 squares, just in a line. I just find this one fits in this perfectly for some unknown reason. Nobody's ever that lucky. Try and get it in the center-ish. And I'm going to peel that off, slide it into the wee compartment. Just make sure it's not catching. And just run my nail down either side of that. And then we're going to stick this in place, line it up with the circle underneath. And that should hold nicely there. Then slide that down, put your closures together, and this should slide up, and that holds your box closed. Pretty cool, isn't it? So we want to do another wee bit of stamping, which will be in here. I just want a wee string of, just to the one side, because this is offset. I just want something to this side, just to keep me happy. Hope this inks up okay. See what shape these boys are supposed to be. Doesn't matter. No, I think I'll actually go this way. So I just want a wee pouring of them coming down, just to take that wee bit of plainness away. And we're going to stick our wee box in now. So I'm just going to go with Claw glue and glue the bottom. I'm being a bit generous because this is just a clear glue. And then this sits in here. We want that, make sure that design goes the same way. You have a wee bit of spare room the whole way around this box, which gives you a bit of time to make sure that it's sort of evenly distributed. And then you can press it and hope it doesn't swish about like mine just did. So you can put your wee packets of sweets, socks or whatever. They're not going to fall through that the way they would with this one here. That's just madness. I think I'm actually going to make a big giant circle or an oval for something that it'll come down further and fix that one. But I think I prefer using that punch. So that's it. Slide that to the bottom. Pull this over the top, line her up and slide it up, and that's she closed. And you can just keep it about there, you know, it doesn't need to go any further. And you've only that wee tiny hole showing. Pretty nice wee box. I really loved the first one I made, and I was always said I would go back and make another one. So this is just a nice big version. You could put paper down the sides if you're like me trying to use up all your stash. If not, just leave it white. It's nice and fresh and clean for spring. So hope you enjoyed that. I'll have all the measurements on my blog if you need them, and I'll catch us all again soon. Bye.